It's a hockey podcast. 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 It's a hockey podcast.
Handsome Hockey Podcast.
It's a hockey podcast.
Have you ever seen that like intro to old NFL things where literally everything filmed in the intro would be a foul today?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like several would be like automatic ejections. How long before we get to a point where like everything that Jacob Trouba does is that?
We'd have to wait until all of the old men in the NHL die. So 6 to 8 years?
It
They're
can be
really
a while.
old. They're really old.
Yeah, but medicine these days.
That's true.
We can keep people alive way past their usefulness. Don Cherry alive just because he chews on pieces of carpet and couch, so he, can taste what he wears.
Even with people living longer today, I would have to say, don't let the days go by. Yeah, I could have been easier on you. I couldn't change, though I wanted to. It should have been easier by 3. Our
That's
old
what,
friend Fear and you and me.
That's what the Rangers are saying. It should have been easier by 3.
They really
They
wished that they could go back and say, don't let the days go by.
Don't let the pucks go by the Ryan Strome stick and go not in the net.
Glycerine.
So this will be maybe a theme.
Today's episode will be brought to you by strange and yet somehow successful Bush lyrics.
That make no fucking sense, but make equally as much sense in our podcast.
Bad moon white again. Bad moon white again as she falls around me.
How did that guy get famous? Please, like
He's
I
beautiful.
really. Oh, is that
He's beautiful.
he's like
And
5% lyricist and like 95% Fabio.
He's got like some guitar playing.
Can he play guitar?
He plays guitar.
Oh.
I'm not saying he's good, but
Yeah.
he's good enough to play guitar in a famous band.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, the Sex Pistols were famous too, so whatever. But
and he's. I mean, how relevant would he be today if he was never married to Gwen Stefani? Like that would.
Well, like he was talking to Gwen Stefani, and he was like, "I needed you more. You wanted us less. I could not kiss, just regress. It might be just clear, simple, and plain. Well, that's just fine. That's just one of my names."
You got to save some of these for later in the episode.
I got so much more.
You're
man.
gonna blow your load too
But
early.
glycerine works really well right now.
It really
apparently.
does. And I feel like that's probably on some like millennial Rangers like healing playlist after this series, because they put 3 together. They put 3 games together, and then it just kind of wheels kind of fell off.
Instead of Fear and You and Me, it was, oh shit, here comes Tampa.
Yeah,
Minus
again,
Braden Point.
We were kind of eating shit for a game, 2 games in my prediction of Tampa in 6, or my prediction of Tampa in 5, and ended up with Tampa in 6. I feel somewhat vindicated
By picking the
Yeah, I
two-time
know, right,
reigning Stanley
exactly.
Cup champions. But
Jesus, I still don't quite know what happened with the Rangers. Apart from Ryan Strome having a game on his stick and just barely whiffing. Well, he's like playing through pain. He is not a body that should be playing hockey when he's actually on the ice at that point. He's just like that injured. Yeah, he had the game in hand basically. Late third period, he's standing in front of the net and gets an open look, and the puck just kind of changes a little bit of direction. He can't quite get a shot on it.
And the nice thing about their season ending is they can all heal up, and Ryan can be like, and I want you to remain. The power of children can amaze. I'll try not to complain. I know that's a pisser, baby.
Okay, that wasn't a surprise. I saw that one coming a mile away.
The chemicals between us, The walls that lie between us, lying in this bed, because he's recovering. That's where I'm going.
Well, and
with
they
this.
really do have chemistry on that team. You know, they do have chemicals between them. And, you know,
But now the chemicals displaced. There is no lonelier state than lying in this bed.
and rumor has it that Jacob Trouba is also healing from his flying elbow that went missing on its way to.
Was it Nazem Kadri
Yeah,
tried to take out with it?
No, that was in the Tampa series. It was Corey Perry or something.
What
Or
am I fucking thinking about?
you're thinking about David Perron,
Yeah.
who tried to murder Nazem Kadri after he scored.
Yeah, and Evander Kane did.
Vander Kane finally did what 2 rounds of goons have tried to do to Nazem Kadri, including
Loomed
Jordan
him.
Bennington with the water bottle.
Well, that was sent by God.
Yeah, but he didn't make contact. Evander Kane finally made contact and paid for it with the rest of his playoff, which, I mean, okay, the Athletic throwing shade on him is worth talking about. Evander Kane, after boarding Nazem Kadri, was assigned a 1-game suspension, but the Athletic caged it as Evander Kane suspended for the rest of the Oilers' playoff run, which that game had not been played yet. That was hilarious. And then they corrected it.
And they didn't need to correct it because it was true.
Yeah, right. I mean, and anybody who watched any of that series could see that, well, the Avalanche were just really, really, really far better than the Oilers.
And it's like everything that we knew about the Oilers, the Avs just like made exponentially worse. Like,
Right.
Oh, your goaltending is bad. Nuclear option. Oh, your defense sucks. Nuclear option.
Oh, you're a one-line team? Oh, we're going to expose all of you and bury you with Darren Helm.
Nuclear option. Like, and JT Comfer is like man of the match. Like, it was that series on it. Like, it was funny. If you're like me and you never want to see a Canadian team win the Stanley Cup again.
You love that.
Not because I hate Canada. I have a great affinity for Canada, our neighbors to the north.
It's just funny.
It's just funny. Yeah. And I love a good running joke.
Mm-hmm.
As my wife will tell you, I will run a joke into the mantle of the earth.
Listeners to this episode will totally not get that.
Damn it. I want you to remember everything you said, every driven word, like a hammer fell to my head.
Are you going to do that just to spite me?
Yes. You know why? Because the chemicals between us, the walls that lie between us, lying in this bed, the chemicals displaced. There is no lonelier
We're sitting at a
fate.
table. We're not at a bed.
That's what we want our listeners to think. It would be kind of cool if this was like our John Lennon Yoko Ono episode.
Yeah, we don't have access to that much heroin.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could get some heroin if we really wanted.
Where does one get a heroin?
I don't know, but like, I have a feeling we know somebody who knows. Anyways, but so the Stanley Cup Finals are going. It is, as you probably guessed, or maybe didn't from our wandering preamble, it's the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's if you believe in him, God ordained, or if you believe in her, God ordained. It's Alanis Morissette's ordained. Actually,
Correct.
She wouldn't because she's Canadian. She wouldn't want a team from Florida winning the Stanley Cup 3 years in a row.
Maybe she would. Maybe she's just that. Well, she's kind of into dive bars and the niche thing. Like,
she's a bit.
She just likes it weird.
She's a bit.
Goddess of chaos. I mean, you saw Dogma. Like, she let a lot of interesting things fly.
Yeah. So Colorado, Tampa. It's like what we all wanted to see. I think. All neutral observers were like, well, my team X, can't be in the finals, so I would rather see Colorado, Tampa. I understand that people are tired of seeing Tampa in the finals, but in like a way, I just really love the idea that they get this chance to hold on to the brass ring, right? Like they are in the finals against probably the most talented team in the league. They are probably one of the 3 most talented teams in the league, and they've been holding on for all this time. And can the upstart Avalanche dethrone them?
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I mean, if Game 3 hadn't happened, we'd be like, yes, resounding yes.
Right. And it's kind of gone the way that the Rangers series has gone, is it not? Like, is Tampa maybe doing their rope-a-dope thing again and going to swing back and win Game 4 and then kind of all bets are off? Or can Colorado win a game on the road in Tampa, which is not easy to do at all?
I mean, if anybody has the guns to do it, it's them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if anybody has the guns to stop Colorado, it's Tampa.
It's that Florida team. They got them DeSantis guns.
Bang, bang, bang. These guns shoot bullets and COVID. And a lack of concern for my fellow man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes to let some of these hits fly that we've seen.
Oh, wow. I don't know how I'm going to be able to work this song in. Anyways,
Love a good challenge. Huh?
I'm going to save that one for the end and just read the lyrics because everything Zen is fucking ridiculous. A lot of people thought this series might be over after Game 2. 7-0, Colorado with a barnstorming, a tub thumping, if you will. A chumbawumbaing, if you will.
And then Tampa's like, I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Thank you.
You ain't never going to keep me down.
Thank you for nailing that punchline. I really appreciate you.
And all the people outside of the park at Tampa are saying, I take a whiskey drink, I take a lager drink, take a cider drink. I sing the songs. They remind me of the good times.
Like the last 2 years. Sing the songs that remind me of the better times, like maybe in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's insane that they are still competing in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the 3rd year in a row. Like physically, like these guys have had 2 abridged off seasons and are, I don't know, like they didn't look like the world beaters at times. They've kind of taken some games off almost seeming
Except
in the
for the Florida series where they're trying to prove a point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe that took some of the gas that they had left in the tank. Like you can see that this is probably the last chance that they have to run it back with this crew. And like, I don't know, they have to be hitting some sort of physical wall.
And, we watched them lose in that first round series against Columbus a couple of years ago or 3 years ago now, 4 years ago, 3, whatever.
Yeah, the last playoff series that this team has lost.
And I feel like that motivated them to the first cup. The second cup was we didn't get to have a celebration with our fans.
Well, I also
it was
think
in the bubble, so
and first cup was without Kucherov, right? Or no, first cup was Kucherov
without
and
Stamkos.
Second cup was Stamkos and limited Kucherov, or no?
No, Kucherov came back for the finals. He was hurt earlier in the playoffs, but came back, and I think he ended up leading the playoffs in scoring.
Right, and if this were
in points,
if Tampa were to win this, it would be Stamkos' cup. Like Stamkos has been a force to be reckoned with
and
all
Palat.
year long. Yeah, Andre Palat is
in the playoffs. Palat kind of had a garbagey year, but has just come alive here in the playoffs. You're right, though. Yeah, Stamkos was finally healthy for a whole year. I think he missed a couple of games in the season, but finally had a year where he wasn't the most snake-bitten human in the NHL. Had a monster year, and he has had a monster playoff as well. He's the captain of the best team in the modern hockey era.
Yeah.
Who would have by thought? Modern hockey era, I'd say salary cap era.
He was drafted and then coached by Barry Melrose, who sat him in the fucking minors or something.
Yeah, That is basically what Gwen Stefani did to Gavin Rossdale when she divorced him.
You're in the minors, bud, and you're not coming back.
Go back to banging supermodels like you were before me.
I mean, Gwen Stefani herself was the supermodel. Like that was just.
Oh yeah,
she just happened to have this other thing going on.
Yeah, she also was the front of a very successful ska band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is No Doubt the most successful ska band of all time?
Yeah, so successful that like you can't really consider them ska.
Yeah,
like ska can't be successful. Like,
is it like
it stops being ska? Like,
is it like Real Big Fish, and then there's
yeah.
like 8 categories of nothingness, and then there's No Doubt?
Yeah, No Doubt wasn't even ska when they like got popular.
Yeah, they were.
Barely.
Tragic Kingdom, I think, is a very poppy ska album, I would say.
Yeah, okay. But the horns are still there in Tragic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then
after that, yes, absolutely. Was it Return to Saturn or some bullshit? Like after that,
did not return to horn section.
Yeah. Their poor drummer is probably just like off in the world with a mohawk, trying to just like be a guy. Actually, he's probably just laying in a pile of money.
Yeah,
he's probably all
in
right.
Full Scrooge McDuck mode.
Yeah. Oh, which we all would be if we could. Like,
speaking of rolling in the money, some women hockey players near you are getting paid.
Getting paid more than they ever have before, and you know what we say?
Congratulations!
Hell yeah!
The latest of which is Carly Jackson.
And it's like Toronto. I said this in the build-up while we were waiting to get started, but it's like Toronto said, "Oh shit, we lost Michaela Grant-Mentis. Let's stop all the pucks.
No more puck past us."
Yeah, we've already got the best goalie in the league, or the reigning goaltender of the year. How about we get Carly fucking Jackson?
All your puck are belong to us.
It's sad to see the mullet move north of the border. They
have enough mullets up there. Like we need all the mullets we can snag down here.
Yeah, we're
in our U.S. teams, Buffalo and Minnesota,
especially in the north too. Because I mean, let's be honest, there's a huge concentration of mullets in the American South, but most of them north of the like Mason-Dixon line are of the ironical sense, and I don't think there's anything ironic about Carly Jackson's mullet. I think it's full on.
Don't you think?
Is it a little too ironic?
It's like rain on the wedding day.
It's like
free ride when you've already paid.
It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife.
This is just fucking like early 90s music hour, apparently.
This, by the time people are done with this album, they're going to be like, The Longest Kiss, Peeling Furniture Days, Drift Madly to You, Pollute My Heart Drain. You have broken at me.
Wow.
That's me.
That's a fucking lyric. Pollute my heart drain.
Pollute my heart drain. Gavin Rossdale, folks. Slow clap.
Slow clap indeed.
Dude made millions of dollars.
I had a point there somewhere about women's hockey, but I think I lost it somewhere around my heart drain.
It went down your heart drain. I think the point is, we're fucking thrilled that all these women are getting signed. Carly Jackson to Toronto is not official as of yet. The Six have not announced it, but it's like widely known that this is happening, sort of thing.
That's where I was going. Mullets.
The
reason I didn't include Boston in the USA list of teams is because they all probably still have Julian Edelman mullets. And, because that's a thing. Or the Belichick mullet.
Those were ironic mullets, too.
Those are.
Yeah.
I mean, are they, though?
It wasn't for Julian Edelman. Or no, maybe it was for Julian Edelman. And then Boston was like, yeah, we can finally do it.
Have you seen Belichick's kid?
No.
Oh, man. It's like little Bill Belichick plus raging mullet.
Well, things for both our audience and for me to Google later.
Yeah, I would like to see more mullets in the PHF. That'd be hilarious.
Part of me wants to, but part of me thinks, that's just kind of Carly Jackson's thing. Also signing amongst big names, Abby Ives, Alyssa Wallfiler, and Tori Howard have re-upped with Connecticut. Jonna Curtis back in Minnesota, one of their big stars who has actually signed with them.
Yeah.
Buffalo has continued their torrid quest to catch the rest of the league. They signed Finnish Olympian Emma Newtonen.
Okay.
There's been a healthy collection of European talent already signed to play in the PHF. At last count, I think we're at like 45-ish players that have signed. So obviously there's a long way to go. We haven't seen the kind of nuclear pace we thought we would see.
But that's pretty cool in that, in a way that shows that the pressure against the PWHPA is kind of working. Like, if the PWHPA is made up of North American national teams, if you're starting to pull national team players from some of these other hockey powerhouse countries, that's sending a really good message.
It is. And we've also seen a couple of defectors from, quote unquote defectors from the PWHPA. And, that's awesome too. It's cool to see a trickle both ways. And, maybe we'll see that when we get to season 2. We still, honestly, we don't have a whole lot of details on this.
You mean season 2 of free agency or the
season
next
2 of the PWHPA? We
gotcha.
still don't even have enough details to really say 100% that this is happening.
Yeah, we don't know what this league really will look like. We've seen kind of an outline, but what actually comes to pass, not always according to the outline, in my experience.
And in the meantime, the PHF is a real league. It has very real money being doled out, as we saw with the Michaela Grant-Mentis contract. So if you're a hockey player and you're worried about where your money is going to come from, or on the flip side, you want to get in on that money, the PHF is the game in town right now. And so we've seen just not a lot, but a few defectors sign with the PHF and sign relatively healthy contracts. And
kind of taking a look this week at, maybe players that will play in both of these leagues in the future. Canada beat the US 3-2 in the U18 Women's World Championships.
Boo.
Yeah.
USA number 1, except in women's hockey. Well, and men's hockey. Okay. In a lot of things, we're not number 1.
In a lot of things related to hockey.
We have to, economics, or, ending racial strife, or gun control, or
having a hot prime minister,
not murdering children in schools. Having a hot prime minister, I would gladly give AOC the prime minister title.
Yeah, even Pete's decent looking.
Pete went off the fucking deep end the last couple of years, though.
Yeah,
he's a turd.
A little bit. He is in Indiana.
He's not the progressive that we thought he was.
No, anyone that thought he was progressive was
also true.
Fooling themselves.
They're like, he's gay. He's got to be progressive. No, he's still from Indiana.
It turns out a lot of gay guys aren't super progressive.
Nor
do they, nor do they need to be always.
Yeah, they're kind of settled in. Their lifestyle's not being attacked that much
yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. Well,
big yet.
Yeah. Supreme Court says, hold my beer.
Yeah. Right.
So anyways, it was a 3-2 final in the Women's World Cup, or World Champions. Canada, it was much like the Olympics. Canada went up 3-0 real fast. USA battled back, and with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, hit the inside of the post, like the very inside of the post.
The Gordon Bombay spot.
Yeah, but a quarter of an inch the other way, and you would have missed completely.
Exactly.
One of the, like, when you think about it, dumbest lines in any movie, but
For real.
I don't care. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's still a pretty good line.
So
it's a good,
great.
It's a good philosophical kind of vehicle for children.
Yeah, Charlie Conway as Plato. Got it. Yeah. In men's hockey, the coaching carousel has been going on for a while. We've already watched Bruce Cassidy get fired and hired. Fired by the Bruins and hired by Vegas.
That's Bruce Butch Cassidy to you. I want Las Vegas to now coin the term Bruce There It Isn't. To
Or
Vancouver's Bruce There It Is.
Bruce There It Ain't.
Bruce There It Is.
If he was coaching in Nashville, maybe.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well, like, but if he was coaching in Nashville, like with the food cuisine that they have there, they'd be like, your loaded smiles, pretty, just desserts. Wish it all for you. So much it never hurts. You have soul machine, stolen me.
And you know what? Vegas did sort of steal Bruce Cassidy. I mean, he was unemployed for like 6 days.
He was served up on a shiny Golden Knights platter for them.
Yeah,
Boston was like, we don't want a good coach for this team without centers.
That's a little crazy that, like, A, that Boston ever let him hit the fucking market, and B, that somehow the league just handed another good thing to fucking Las Vegas. Like, they need to stop with this unforced errors towards Las Vegas shit.
It's okay.
Going back to the draft.
It's okay. They're cursed by Jack Eichel now, so like they'll never win anything. Yeah, and like the thing about Jack Eichel is like he's like mental armor. And as we know, all your mental armor drags me down, but nothing hurts like your mouth. mouth.
Yeah, nothing hurts like missing the playoffs continually.
Or your mouth.
Jack Eichel does have a good mouth on him. I mean, him talking shit to Buffalo, pretty iconic this year, saying, oh yeah, 7 years here and I never heard the barn that loud, or whatever he said to that degree. Like,
It was pretty good chirp.
oh, absolutely. I mean, whether or not it was true, spoiler, it wasn't really true. That's just some good shit talking.
It's some good shit talking. Other coaches hired. Tortorella was hired by the Flyers, which is so Flyers. It's kind of the perfect coach for them. It's gonna end horribly because they have no defenseman that can play in towards the system.
Yeah.
But
and everyone is calling Cam Atkinson like, hey man, are you okay?
yeah,
You
supportive.
gonna be all right?
Supposedly he like told their GM, was it Mike Fletcher, that, oh yeah, we got to get Torts. And it's like, I don't know that I believe this.
Maybe Cam Atkinson could benefit from Torts. We'll see.
After a year of Mike Yao, he was like,
oh
never
yeah,
mind.
it can be worse. Yeah,
Never mind. Yeah, no, fucking get Torts. This Elaine Vigneault,
yeah. Nah.
like, fuck that noise. Like, let's bring us in Torts.
What I loved was Brandon Dubinsky, famous Torts hater, sent a prayer emoji to Flyers players.
Speaking of prayers, Pete DeBoer is supposedly going to be hired by Dallas because, that works everywhere he goes.
It's like hiring thoughts and prayers.
The guy's not good. Like, why do we keep hiring this fucking guy?
Apparently, he can sell himself to management.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I could probably sell myself on the black market, but that doesn't mean I will.
Well, and it's also crazy that, like, them hiring DeBoer kind of says, okay, we can't land Barry Trotz.
Oh, absolutely.
It's an absolute, like, abdication. Whereas, like, Las Vegas, like, maybe Trotz isn't a good fit there, Cassidy probably is. Cassidy's just as good of a coach as Barry Trotz. Maybe not quite, like he doesn't have the heavy system.
He doesn't have the like iconic status that Trotz has.
Exactly.
But I mean, he's had a really good run in Boston.
Right, which makes him maybe a better fit
with a team
in certain places, Las Vegas being one of them.
In a lot of ways too, like Boston overachieved the last couple of years. Like they haven't been a great team.
They got an amazing year out of a pretty rough D core. I mean, like I remember at one point, one of the stat heads was like, hey, you know how the Bruins D gets maligned? Actually, all these dudes have like positive stat category percentages. Like everything is green on that advanced stats end. And that's got to be at least somewhat coaching related. Like that's one of those things that you're like, okay, that's coach.
Like, well, outside of McAvoy is going to be the guy who never wins a Norris because he's in an era of incredible defensemen and he's just like a really great defenseman.
I think he'll get one.
Maybe, but I honestly, I don't think he will. But anyways,
it's going to take some longevity, but he's also still really young. Like you kind of, it might be the next Ray Bourque. Going back to your famous joke with your Boston guy.
Yeah, he will never win a cup in Boston. But when you look at the defensive metrics for that team, like the rest of the defensemen on that, like they're not bad.
Brandon Carlo's decent. Like trading for Hampus the Krampus Lindholm, like that was
smart,
very smart.
Yeah,
and paid dividends in the playoff run for sure.
Yeah, but
we'll see if that contract ends up being a boat anchor. Probably
yes.
Not until it is yes.
Derek Forbort, like I mean,
right.
like, and Matt Grzelcyk's good, but he's not that good, right? Like
right.
I don't know. It's getting, and they only had Lindholm for like 8 games in the regular season. Then he got hurt and sat down for a while. Like that was basically like pulling strings like a puppeteer to keep that defense healthy and alive. And
absolutely,
Cassidy did it.
And that's exactly the kind of coach that Vegas needs. Because, well, that's exactly what happened to Vegas last year. They lost like more starter minutes to injury than anybody.
Yeah. Moving on, a brewery in Winnipeg has offered Barry Trotz beer for life if he goes to coach Winnipeg. Little do they know, Barry Trotz is a hard seltzer guy.
Nice. Yeah.
What if that was true?
That would be fucking hilarious. I also like that fits so much. Like that's why Lamoriello fired him. Like, man can't sit down and drink a Bud Light with me.
No, because men don't drink Bud Light.
But
men have taste buds.
Yeah, notably the last time that this happened, RW Panarin was offered vodka for life to stay in Columbus, which I can only imagine that like any vodka made in Columbus, Ohio, would not be good enough to keep him there. And well, surprise, he left.
Yeah, it's peace out, dudes.
Yeah, sorry, this vodka sucks, man. Like, I need to go. Need to dip. At least New York, they have like some better vodka.
They have ships there that can bring me good vodka.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this brewery or like what the beer scene is like in Winnipeg.
Probably fine, like every other regular sized city in the world now.
Right. I at least have drank beer in Columbus, so like I could have spoken like, okay, the beer in Columbus could have maybe kept somebody there, but no, haven't been to Winnipeg and ain't drank no beers in Winnipeg.
I have had somebody shove peanut shells in my ass crack in Columbus, so I'm gonna think I would go with Winnipeg.
Yes,
on this
but
one.
Also, you are bred to hate Columbus from your DNA up. So,
as we should all be. It's like a convention of mouth breathers, soulless mouth breathers. Yeah, Barry Trotz is reportedly it sounds like he's going to be signing with Winnipeg. The only other team that anybody knows he's talked with really is Detroit and Dallas. But obviously Dallas is going other ways because Barry Trotz is like, why the hell would I live in Dallas?
Well, the taxes.
He's like,
one.
Jamie Bet. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, and sadly, this will end the coaching reign of one of my favorite coaching stories in the NHL, which is Adam Lowry's dad. Coaching him again. Like, how fucking weird is that gotta be to be an NHL player, make it all the way to the big show, and then all of a sudden your dad is your coach?
Pretty fucking weird. And I also love like any Winnipeg game. The Red Wings ended up playing Winnipeg something like 2 or 3 times after that coaching change.
Okay.
And the Wings announcing crew, which just got voted the best announcing crew in the NHL by the Athletic readers, and I wholeheartedly agree. They're incredible. It's like Grandpa gave you a blanket and then talked to you about hockey. It's perfect. But they would always say, instead of calling him by his name, they would just say, well, and Adam Lowry's dad is behind the bench. And like you'd hear like this like slightly muffled snicker from Mickey Redmond. And like Ken Daniels is just having a great time with it.
And I mean, Dave Lowry, right? Is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a really good job. Like that team probably could have been better, but he righted the ship after the departure of their previous coach, who just decided, well, this team wasn't for him. And, hats off to Dave Lowry. I don't know. I thought that like one of the funnier human interest pieces in the league this year that like nobody talked about.
Yeah, I was right up there with like Gary Suter constantly referring to God in his press conferences. Like, just like, what the hell's going on in Western Canada?
Speaking of what the hell's going on in Western Canada.
Speaking of slow claps, what a great transition, my friend. Connor
McDavid.
That was great.
Did a little bit of a fall from grace this week. And he was videoed like a deer in the headlights by some Canadian TMZers out with not his girlfriend and interior designer of his mansion. The hockey world was up in arms, to say the least, about Connor McCheater.
And I, like, in a way, I feel bad for any celebrity who gets caught doing something, like not cheating, but just like anything. Cause it's like, fuck, man, if you were just me, nobody would give a shit. But like,
right, you're under a microscope.
It's like, oh, Jake bought weed from some shady dude behind a 7-Eleven. Oh, okay. Why is he doing that? Weed's legal in Portland. Like, okay. But like,
that dude
TMZ was there with like 4 cameras for that. And you're like, oh, well, shit, this is going to be on the website soon. Like,
also, I know that dude that always sells Obama Kush no matter what it looks like. Yeah, it was crazy because like the body language between him and this woman says, "We are out together," and then at one point someone says like, "Connor," and he like looks, and you just get this deer in fucking headlights moment. Like, that's what he makes defensemen feel, is how he looked in that minute to the fucking paparazzi. Like,
it was funny too, because like in that, like his response to the paparazzi, he was like, "Do you feel the way you hate? Do you hate the way you feel? Always closest to the flame, ever closer to the blade." You know, Connor McDavid's gonna have his moment of indignity here, and
I feel like people have already forgotten about it. Like, we've already moved on to other things, like the Stanley Cup Finals and
Sammy Blais.
and that was like even a smaller thing. But what was crazy is like the Sammy Blais thing happened on the same day. He got like kind of outed for referring to his sister as sexy like several years back on Instagram.
So he's like basically Donald Trump with Ivanka.
Yeah. And all the Quebecois people like came in to be like, oh no, we say sexy all the time. We talk like it's normal.
And the rest of the world was like, no.
But also like the picture that he was calling his girl calling his the picture he's
Freudian
calling
slip.
his sister sexy on. She doesn't look very sexy. Like she's kind of like, okay, hot girl in white muumuu. Like fine.
The muumuu is
Several years ago.
it's a chosen look, I guess.
It is.
I don't know what this Julian Breezewell pickleball thing is.
You mean that thing that you asked me to put on the script?
Really? Did I forget?
Yeah, apparently Julian Breezewell is insane about pickleball.
That's good. Somebody should be. I mean, I know a lot of people are obsessed with pickleball, but like somebody of his stature.
Yeah, so apparently he played along with like Joe Sakic and Bill Guerin and Jarmo Kekalainen.
Oh, nice. That's a good group of guys.
Right, but when you get called an intense guy, very competitive by those four dudes,
Joe Sakic.
yeah, that's saying something.
Joe Sakic was like, dude, I've got Stanley Cups. You need to chill the fuck out. Like,
Yeah, and Kekalainen's like,
Kekalainen's like, we stared down the Russians every day. Speaking of staring down the Russians, Vegas traded Evgeny Dodonov to Montreal for Shea Weber's contract.
Shea who?
Yeah, exactly. The best part about this was on the Twitter announcement, the Anaheim Ducks said, "Are you sure?" And that was it. It's like,
In reference to Dodonov being failed to be traded by Vegas earlier this year because of some legal things called a no trade clause that they maybe forgot about, or their dog ate or something. They kind of forgot about that whole thing. And so, yeah, taking a second swing at trading him, and they trade him for a dead player contract.
yeah, like Shea Weber, his career is really in limbo, like limbo this and limbo that. You were this and you were that. Ever know that what you fear is what you find?
Can't you just sing the Limbo song? On the limbo stick.
Nah, I don't. It kind of sounds like me doing that voice kind of sounds and feels racist at this point in life, right?
It reminds me of Adrian Brody getting banned from SNL for life for making a Jamaican accent joke, and that to like introduce a musical act. It was just so stupid, so short and dramatically unfunny. What's hilarious about Shea Weber is he can't retire. Otherwise, he will fuck over Nashville.
He will fuck over Nashville and forfeit a ton of money.
Right. So, I mean, what's better than getting paid to do nothing?
Legitimately nothing. Like,
Yeah, like, what are the ways you can get paid to do nothing? Like, you are a landlord, you're in the mob, or like you have a cap recapture contract in the NHL.
That LTIR game is strong. Yeah, but with Shea Weber moving to Vegas, I mean, his contract anyways, he'll be like, warm sun, feed me up. I'm leery, loaded up, loathing for a change, and I slip some and boil away.
I mean, you could really slip some and boil away pretty fast in Vegas. So I would think that Shea Weber's probably, staying put where he is. I actually don't know where he lives. He'd be in Nashville or Montreal. So, I mean, he could probably hack it in Vegas.
Absolutely. I mean, with the sun there, and like if he like did boil away, he'd be like, I'm with everyone and yet not.
I don't even. I have
Piss on self-esteem, forward busted knee, sick head, blackened lungs, and I'm a simple, selfish son. Yeah, how do you transition out of that, big guy?
There's something there. I'm past that time.
Yeah, let's just move on. Finally, Keenan Thompson was chosen to host this year's NHL Awards, which I got so wrapped up in the whole like Bush lyrics thing that I didn't mention that the most beautiful child of all, our favorite German, which is, I guess there's not a lot of great Germans out there, but this one, it's like Angela Merkel, and then right above it, MORITZ SEIDER, won the Calder in what ended up being not even remotely close.
Winning 170 of 195 possible first place votes.
Yeah, and the 25 people who didn't vote for him, fucking shame on you. That's like some anti-German bullshit, and I get it. They've done some shit, and they're like the worst. But
you play really good hockey, buddy. But the Nazis.
But 90 years ago. The beer hall putsch, and like I'm thinking we haven't forgotten that yet.
I mean, well, these days we probably shouldn't.
Doomed to repeat is the phrase that I believe. Anyways, yeah. So the best boy ever.
And speaking of doomed to repeat, the Selkie went to none other than, drum roll please, the same guy that's won it for the last fucking decade.
Yeah, that guy. Who, I mean, at a certain point, just fucking give it to somebody else, right? Like,
but yeah, Patrice Bergeron won again because, well, he probably could have won every year that he's been in the league, but they want to give it to other people.
Except recently, they're just like, I'm tired of this award. Just give it to Patrice.
And I mean, I understand the timing. You know, he might hang it up this year. He might, like, the entire Boston plan this year hinges on Patrice Bergeron's will. Like, if he wants to run it back, okay, they're going to run it back. They'll have a team again. If he wants to retire, they will blow the whole fucking thing up.
If Patrice Bergeron does retire, then, Boston's going to have to find something else to do. They'll be like, there must be something we can eat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe find another lover. Should I fly to Los Angeles and find my asshole brother?
Is this the Connor McDavid song?
No, because the next lyric is Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow.
Oh, I fucking love that lyric.
Dave's on sale again. We kissy kiss in the rear view. We're so bored, you're to blame.
Sorry for other people that were boring with our lame jokes, but
if you're bored by this,
I've gotten a kick out of it.
This is not your podcast. Everything Zen is really, I'm kind of excited that I was able to work this into it at all. For
being like one of their hit songs, it is almost completely unintelligible. The fucking, it just sounds like random word generator turned into a song.
Rain dogs howl for the century, $1 million at stake, as you search for your demigod and you fake with a saint.
Gavin Rossdale's lyrics are like you splice a random word generator with a high schooler.
There's no sex in your violence. And I would have held the vibe like as long as he does in that, but I don't have that lung capacity. So I don't want to like throw my back out trying.
Speaking of violence, the NHL awards for best defenseman were handed out. Cale Makar won, as he should have. He deserved to win by a landslide, but he didn't. Roman Josi actually took more first place votes than him, and I'm angry with those voters.
I'm not. Like
Roman Josi absolutely deserved to be second, and maybe deserved to be a close second, but god damn it, Cale Makar was the most impactful. I mean, yeah, Josi helped drive that damn team, but Cale Makar is still driving that damn team and going to drive him to a Stanley Cup. So I don't know.
Is Cale Makar better? Yeah, probably. But the year that Roman Josi had, if you look at it statistically, Cal McCarr exploded out of the gate, was great for like 2/3 of the year or maybe like 3/5 of the year, and then kind of slowed down for a while. And right when he slowed down, Roman Josi was like, I'm going plaid. Like,
Going to that plaid pantry?
oh, yeah, well, okay. And had a killer end of the year. So I can see why the vote ended up being as close as it was.
Sure.
Because as McCarr kind of faded down the stretch, and he picked it up right at the end of the year.
And in the playoffs.
Right, but this is...
Right, I know.
Yeah. And when he started to fade a little bit, or not fade, but just not be as incredible, Roman Josi went incredible, and that sort of thing stays with voters.
For Lady Bing, we got Kyle Connor from the Winnipeg Jets doing Adam Lowry's dad, a nice solid.
Not Blake Wheeler, huh?
Nope. Surprise.
Huh, that's weird.
I was pulling for Jared Spurgeon because he would have won immediately, or the vote to have him win would have occurred like immediately after he cross-checked the shit out of Pavel Buchnevich's ankles.
Pavel Buchnevich probably had it coming.
Perhaps.
He's a dick. I like him. Don't get me wrong, but he's a dick.
Speaking of dicks we like, Daryl Sutter won Coach of the Year.
It was ordained by God.
It should, yeah.
That Western Canadian God.
This is actually what God intended, not the throwing of a fucking water bottle by an aggrieved goalie.
An aggrieved piss baby goalie.
Yeah, Daryl Sutter absolutely deserved this.
Yeah, 100%.
He literally like left the fucking family farm to start coaching this team like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And they've been nothing but good since, which is kind of crazy because he's notorious as sort of like an old school curmudgeon-y guy, but they love him. So the best part of the award show,
The very end.
is literally this is what the sign off was for the whole broadcast. Keenan Thompson fucking nukes the city of Toronto from 30,000 feet by saying congrats to Austin Matthews, who won the Hart. Nice to see the Leafs win something in June. Oh my goodness.
That's for the city of Toronto, painful. For everyone else, really fucking funny.
Like that's like in fucking the Prometheus movie when the Jude Law character like commits genocide. Like there were no survivors.
Keenan Thompson could have been nicer, but like when you have the opportunity to go for it, you go for it.
And if you're going to be mean to somebody, make it Toronto.
Yeah. Otherwise, anyways, you're just saying, don't let the days go by. Could have been easier on you.
Yeah.
Glycerine,
you could have been a whole lot easier on me.
Glycerine.
Keenan Thompson, I thought it was hilarious. They like had to photograph him at a hockey game. And so they like got him at a hockey game. They're like, hey, look, he's at one. We got him. Got him there.
he's like,
fuck, fine. I have to fucking watch this game.
Chance the Rapper was there.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I don't know. For all I know, Keenan Thompson could really enjoy hockey, but he just, yeah, they were like, they went to show him off sort of like they did Kodak Black.
Except with a Zapruder film?
Yeah, except he was, I mean, well, because they showed off Kodak Black like on down near the ice before they like panned to the infamous incident in his private suite. But yeah, they panned to Keenan Thompson in the stands at the NHL game, and it was like, he's like, yeah, this was in the fucking Chance the Rapper bit, guys. Come on.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for us tonight or this morning, whenever you're listening to this. It might be at lunch. I don't know. Maybe you're eating a sando. Hopefully it's delicious. And hopefully you thought this was delicious because, you know,
we think you're delicious.
Nothing hurts like your mouth when you've had a bad sandwich.
So if you want to give us your impressions of our impressions of Gavin Rossdale lyrics, you can find us on the internet at handsomehockey.com, at Handsome Hockey Podcast on Instagram, at Handsome Hockey on the Twitter. handsomehockeypod@gmail.com or at our Handsome Hockey Facebook page for your parents.
Or if you're still tied to that stupid meta machine that's going to kill us all and then sell our information. Welcome to the future, folks. Thank you, as always, for listening to us. We're always very thankful. And yeah, we recently passed 2,000 listens, which in
That's
a year
true.
and a half is, we think, pretty cool.
We do have, that feels like a lot to celebrate.
Yeah, I have been celebrating all damn night. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and stay handsome, everybody.
Restez beau tout le monde.